this episode goes out to all of those that are in the thick of the 4-month sleep regression,
Oh,
or maybe you have a
yes.
younger baby and you've heard all about the 4-month sleep regression, or your first baby really struggled with it and you want to do things differently. Today, we're going to be talking about the top 4 things we would do if we were in the 4-month sleep regression.
A lot of families that contact me with the younger aged babies are wanting to sort of get their heads around what can we do in order to make it a little bit smoother. We've heard that it can be problematic, and we just want to get a good sort of grasp on what we need to do in order to make things a little easier for ourselves. So we are here today to give you the hot tips on what we would do.
The 4 hot tips. I'll just give a little bit of background context in case anyone's listening with a much younger baby or haven't experienced it. The 4-month sleep regression is a developmental change in the way that your baby's sleep cycles occur. And it usually happens somewhere between 3 and 5 months of age, collectively known as the 4-month sleep regression, and your baby's sleep cycles mature to become more like ours. So rather than just sort of drifting between 2 states of sleep, we now have a 4, or as you like to articulate, more or less 4 to 5 stage sleep cycle, Beck, as they learn to drift off to sleep, get into a deeper stage, start to come out of it, sort of rinse and repeat. And the reason why it's lumped in with the word regression is because you can have gone from sort of dreamy 8-hour stretches with a dream feed with your 10-week-old, and all of a sudden you're hearing from your baby every 45 minutes, every 2 hours, looking for assistance back to sleep. It's when feeds suddenly start to increase overnight. We're all sort of just trying our absolute best, and it can also mean that maybe baby was taking long naps and now is taking short, choppy. Again, the sleep cycle change causes a bit of havoc. Now, not every baby goes through it. A lot do. And for me, there is a lot of sort of doom and gloom, and I get it, because particularly if you've lived through a really, really hard slog of a 4-month sleep regression with a previous baby, it can feel endless. And that's because there is no end date. It's not a this too shall pass situation. This is a permanent change in your baby's sleep cycles. It's also the perfect time to start making some active change, because your baby's showing you that they're ready because they're sleeping differently now.
It often causes us to look at how our little ones are falling asleep initially, because for a lot of children, up until the age of, let's just say 4 months, they're still little, so they're using a lot of help in order to get to sleep, which is totally fine. We rock that.
Of course.
They're holding, rocking, feeding, patting, shushing, all the things, because we just want our children to fall asleep and stay asleep, really. And so we are doing a lot of things to encourage those naps to happen and bedtime. But with this progression, we are really looking at trying to hold steady on a number of things that we can control, so that we can create a really clear pathway for our children's or babies' skill sets to start to strengthen and develop. And what we want to try and do is create a really clear pattern of the day and like a rhythm of the day and the night, so that then that element of life is all taken care of. The internal clock knows when things are happening, when to feel tired, when to feel appetite, when bedtime is coming up, when the day is starting. All those things are taken care of, so it's almost like an autopilot scenario, so that then we have to do less in order to get our little ones down. They have to do less work in order to try and fall asleep, and things will start to sort of fall into place if you decide that you're going to do a little bit of sleep work, from there on in. So
it's sort of where sleep shaping, which is what we do, even from the day you bring baby home, sleep foundations, hygiene, the swaddle, all of that, meets sleep training. And they're not mutually exclusive. It's this perfect combination of the two to meet baby where they are at developmentally, and both go hand in hand when we're looking at how do we set the stage for success and how do we support you in doing a little bit more independent self-settling, so that we sort of wean out the associations that you're looking for between each sleep cycle overnight, which is becoming unsustainable.
Yeah, that's correct. In terms of what we would be doing
All right.
shall we
Fire up.
fire away?
Number 1, you go.
Personally, I would first start with shaping your night. And the way that I would do that is by continuing what we are doing through the day with feeds. So from 4 months onwards, I encourage families to move to a 4-hourly feed structure. So whether that's breast or bottle, we're doing complete feeds. So both breasts for each feed, or a full bottle of, say, 180 to 240 mils. We're doing 4 feeds in through the day, and then we're going to continue that pattern overnight, so that we're just having the 2 full complete feeds overnight. So we're just structuring those in. If we're doing the nice full complete feeds overnight, then we're fully tanking baby up, so that then when their sleep cycles are changing and they're moving through into fragile sleep and you're thinking you need to do something, very clearly you will know that if it's in between feeds, it's not a genuine hunger-related waking. So you can resettle in other ways other than offering the breast or bottle. So it makes resettling a whole lot clearer in order for your baby and for you as well. So you're not sort of second guessing yourself. I wonder if they're hungry. I wonder if, all the things that sort of go along with the seeds of doubt that pop into your mind at 2:00 in the morning. So, so typically that would be a feed the first waking after, say, 10:30 at night, and then 4 hours from that feed, we would offer another full feed to go back off to sleep. So that's how I would roll
I
with
think
the
what
feeds.
also commonly happens is that once we move to those 4-hourly feeds and we move away from what may have been 2.5-hourly feeds, is that it automatically, maybe instead of the 45-minute wake ups overnight, we do go to 2 or 3 hourly, because we've sort of wired into the body clock when to expect a feed, but also just genuinely more tanked up during the day supports better, more consolidated sleep overnight. And we see that time and time again, that moving to great anchored feeds during the day without any other technique or change can have a huge impact on nights.
Absolutely. And I get it. I understand how people can sort of think to themselves, well, when my baby wakes overnight, they only take like half a boob and then they're totally conking out and so forth. And that's where you get into that whole pickle of that. Then an hour and a half later, they're awake, and so now I need to top them back up again and so forth. So it's not the easiest thing in the world. Like, I totally understand that, but it's a great way to start building confidence around what you want to do overnight when you're faced with the 4-month regression. You have some control over that. And so it's just a case of investing in that first feed of the night, making sure that you're unlatching and relatching if you need to encourage this full feed. Offer a nappy change as well, so that baby becomes a little bit unhappy with you in that moment, that actually now they're a little bit chilly and they're a little bit cold, and what are you doing? I was happy to go back off to sleep, but now I'm wide awake. And then you can offer the second side or the second half of the bottle, and all of a sudden now they're finishing it and they're tanked up. So you can do another 4-hour stretch. Yeah.
So in this scenario, I think it's also worth mentioning the dream feed, because a lot of 4-month-old babies would still be having a dream feed pre 4-month sleep regression. Would you then say drop the dream feed and feed at the first waking after the 4-hourly mark overnight to mirror the days? Yeah, great. We do have a dream feed episode, and for me, I would say we move away from that. It's no longer doing what we wanted it to do. We're not looking to keep it long term anyway. Let's mirror the 4-hourly during the day to 4-hourly overnight and resettle everything in between, and then watch what happens.
Yep. So that's tip number 1, the feeds.
Quick pause. If you're finding this helpful, make sure you're subscribed to Nap Trapped. New episodes drop every week, and we cover everything from sleep regressions to daycare naps to night weaning. Head to naptrappedpodcast.com to subscribe and grab our free sleep resources while you're there. You'll also find our full episode library, so you can search by your baby's age or the specific issue you're dealing with. Tip number 2, I'm going to say to ideally keep babies still in a swaddle. When we add in multiple overnight wakings and short naps, a lot of babies still have a bit of a startle reflex at play, and it can just be a lot of stimulation, hands flapping around and knocking dummies out and whatnot. the more we can support a baby in being receptive to your settling techniques, the easier it is going to be when they don't have to work so hard.
Mhm.
It can also mean the difference between a 20-minute nap and a 45-minute nap.
Mhm.
And we're always looking to get these longer sleep cycles, a well-rested baby, to take these beautiful full feeds, to go into the night that's not going to wake because I had 3 20-minute naps and I've had a shot of Red Bull, or so it feels
Exactly.
like,
Yeah.
and then there's big tears. So I would be keeping baby in a swaddle, nice firm swaddle, just to help them, A, consolidate sleep on their own and make them more receptive to your settling techniques.
Mhm. If you're finding that baby's busting loose of their particular swaddle, so maybe you're just
Mm,
doing it a traditional way with like a
a
muslin
muslin?
or something like that, and they're getting loose, I would 100% start moving to a different type of swaddle so you can get
Yep.
that longevity. You've heard us bang on before about the miracle blankets. I would still put a
Yep.
4-month-old into a miracle blanket. Um, Love to Dream, they're great for it's a medium startle control, so you could potentially still use that. It's a great option for families, and it's Houdini proof. So the zip
Yeah.
up option, but there is a common theme at the moment that the unswaddling is happening earlier. Please know that you can absolutely keep your little one swaddled for a little bit longer if they're not rolling continuously on the mat and they're just flipping. If they've showed you like once or twice that maybe they look like they're about to roll, I would still swaddle. I would still remain swaddling through the day, especially if and at night if you haven't actually seen them roll and they're just continually flipping back and forth. Yeah. Or on the mat, that they're not flipping over on the mat. Showing signs of rolling is not the uh, green light to unswaddle.
Mm.
You want to be seeing that it's continually happening on the play mat before you do that.
Particularly then in something like the Miracle Blanket. By the way, we are not sponsored. This is just a
Mm,
product that we genuinely love and can be a game changer at this sort of, it's such a limbo age and stage where they're not quite newborns. They're starting to
yeah.
do things differently, but they're not older babies.
Hmm.
And so to help you also to survive, I guess,
Mm,
and to buy you time before you can be a little bit more active in sleep work. This something like the Miracle Blanket is incredible,
hmm.
and babies
It
are
really is.
they really take to it. Um, the other thing I was going to say is that, babies are a bit wrigglier at this age. And Beck, you and I were talking about this during the week, particularly with the Miracle Blanket, that if they're now kicking off, let's say you had them in their muslin wrap and you had
Hmm.
blankies on them to keep them warm, and that's no longer a safe option. The beauty of the Miracle Blanket is you can put a TOG rated sleeping bag
Mm,
on underneath.
hmm.
And so that way, that any kind of restlessness or stubborn early wakings is now, we can cross that off the list because we know baby is warm enough. What's your number 3?
Tip number 3 I have got for everyone is just to take the pressure off your naps. So if you're going into nap time and you're really hoping for these nice big long 2-hour naps that you may have seen on the internet or in books or so forth,
Or
take the
maybe even your
pressure
baby
off.
was doing those as a newborn.
Yeah, true.
Mm.
If they've started to move towards shorter naps, just roll with it. I think you're really just trying to encourage the naps to happen at the right time. So, using your wake windows and making sure that you're getting the right amount of sleep pressure for the nap to happen. And if they take a full 45-minute nap, I'm really happy. Sally, are you happy with a 45-minute nap at this
I'm so
age?
happy. And I'm
Yeah.
so happy to know that a baby isn't crying and a mother isn't crying, trying to
Mm.
lengthen out
Hmm.
in a pitch black room at the age of 4 months for hours on end.
Absolutely. I try and encourage families just to sort of give the resettle maybe 10 or 15 minutes.
Hmm.
And if it's not looking like it's doing its job, then we just cut our losses and we get baby up and we rock our day and we use our wake window to the next nap. And it's not a forever thing. It just
Mm.
is one way that we can try and just keep moving on with our day without as little tears from both baby
Yeah.
and mum as humanly possible, because it is really normal at this age to have, say, 4 45-minute naps. in the day.
Yep.
And we will take that and we will consider that to be a win. And the reason why it is a win is because baby is taking a full sleep cycle. So we know we've got our sleep pressure correct. And we know that we haven't got an overtired, overstimulated little one, that they are able to take a full sleep cycle. And that's a huge win.
Amazing. I couldn't agree more. And actually, we put up a sample 4 by 45 minute schedule inside the Snooze membership, and mothers, because we've got quite a few mothers with 4-month-old babies in the group. And one mother even commented, gosh, I wish I'd known about this with my first baby, because I spent way too many hours trying to get these long naps in and having no flexibility or freedom. And it also should be added that some babies at 4 months can take long naps, and maybe it's just the first nap of the day is really long and then the rest are short. All of that is okay, but if you find yourself just feeling sick about the idea of constantly reset, it's just not worth it. We don't need to. We will happily take these shorter naps so long as they're not the 18-minute blinks.
Yeah, or the 6-minute disaster naps that we spoke about.
Oh, yeah, we just did an episode on that. Yeah. Okay, my tip, and we'll keep it for 4 months, is that this is actually, for me, the green light to start doing some sleep training if you want to. And when I say sleep training, this doesn't have to be scary. One of the common manifestations of the 4-month sleep regressions is that the way a baby goes to sleep suddenly becomes the way they want to be resettled in between sleep cycles overnight. Rinse and repeat all night long. So it could look like you were previously able to rock your baby in your arms, transfer them, and then they would sleep 6 hours, have a feed, and back down 9. But now that rocking needs to be replicated multiple times overnight. Now, if that is no drama for you, you do not have to change a thing. It can become unsustainable, and for a lot of families, and also knowing that there's no end date to this, it can really start to linger and it becomes a sleep association.
Yeah.
And so what I would say is that for me, when we hit the 4-month sleep regression, it's often the green light to start trialing some self-settling. And sleep training is just doing less of what you are currently doing. So you don't have to go in all guns blazing and say, we're going to do timed checks. If you want to, I just keep those time checks to every 3 to 4 minutes. No lengthy timers, just having a go at bedtime. Forget the naps, you just focus on bedtime. But it could just be that you start layering on other sleep associations to eventually get to being able to put baby down. So we've gone from rocking. While you're rocking, I'm going to get you to start adding in a pat. Then you're going to stop the rocking and we're just going to pat all the way to sleep in our arms. Then we're going to pat in the cot, and we just slowly start to remove these associations sort of one layer at a time. The thing to pay attention to is this working for your baby with their newfound engagement and socialization, and what are they looking for in terms of regulation and how they would like to fall asleep. Often as parents, we want to do the most, myself included. Like, how can I fix this? How can I meet your needs? How can I be there for you every step of the way? If your baby is escalated in your arms despite your best efforts, less is more is also okay. And so that's what I would say, is that but it needs to go hand in hand with all of these other things we've just suggested. Hence why we've saved it as number 4, because it's going to be a moot point if baby's flapping and flailing, really overtired and snacky. It's not going to work.
Correct.
And we want optimal success and minimal tears for everybody involved. So it would be about laying all of this. That's where the sleep shaping comes in. And then a little bit of sleep training is how can we support and have a go with popping babies down more awake to see if they can self-settle. And full transparency, when I first started sleep consulting 10 years ago, I used to think, I'm so scared of 4-month-old babies. Like, if I got an intake form, I'd think, oh my goodness, I don't know how to, like, it can feel intimidating because they are so little. They're young for parents. Like, it's a lot. I now quite enjoy a 4-month-old because up until now, they've been a newborn.
True.
They are so receptive to change because they haven't had, let's say, 12 months of deeply ingrained rocking, holding, shushing, patting that we're trying to undo with a very different baby. They don't know anything else. And so they surprise me and parents all the time.
Correct. It is a really interesting age because it's a few small things can make a big difference to our little ones in their sleep. And we're not trying to encourage sleeping through the night at this age at all.
No, no, not at all.
And so it makes life a little easier when we know we've got a couple of feeds in the mix overnight. And so it can be much more seamless than what you may think it is.
Yeah,
Could be.
I think it's really empowering to know what to do in between those feeds that isn't going to prolong what is feeling unsustainable.
Correct. I hope we've empowered quite a few parents who've got the newborns and leading up to the 4-month stage. It's not as scary as it's all made out to be.
No, not at all. If anything, I'm like, game on. Let's go. Let's make change.
Love a
Reshape the day.
challenge.
Love a challenge, and then pop baby down and see what happens, or start, doing something different.
Yeah, start taking a little bit more control of the day and so forth. And obviously we've got no control over how long they sleep for or how long they feed for, those types of things, but we can control the internal clock. We can put things in place to help our little ones feel rhythm and routine and understand when things are happening, and that side of things we can make a huge difference and make life easier for them and for us, for sure.
These 4 things alone can transform things during the 4-month sleep progression.
As always, we'd love to hear your comments or see your comments below the episode. So make sure you share and subscribe to our Nap-Trapped episodes.
Absolutely.
Is that what I say?
That was great.
This is the part that I really struggle with. I don't know what
Beck's
to say.
really good at sleep consulting.
Social media.
Asking for affirmation.
Yeah, that's right.
Trickier.
Write a comment.
Yes, we would love to. Please like us. Please share us. Let us know how you go. We would love to be able to support you. And I am loving the comments coming. I just think I get a thrill every time I see one of your comments. So please keep them coming. Beck and I, if you knew how much we spoke during the day, 7 days a week, you would know that we see every comment. We know you by name.
Yeah.
Or your username. So you are a huge part of this. So thank you. And we will see you on the next episode of Nap-Trapped.
See you later, team. Bye.
Bye. If this episode helped, there's a lot more where that came from. We've built a library of episodes covering every sleep stage and challenge, from day 1 through to the toddler years. Visit naptrappedpodcast.com to search by your baby's age or the specific issue you're tackling. Subscribe so you've got weekly support as things change. And remember, you don't need to figure this out all at once. One episode, one strategy, one night at a time.